What's up, Warriors? Today I just wanted to share with you a little devotional reading that is from this 3 minutes devotions for men. I think you can find this on Amazon. I'm not sure. It was a gift, so I'll just go ahead and read it and maybe we can talk about it. Without further ado, let's go ahead. Wisdom sources. If anybody of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Wisdom is often equated with the number of wrinkles on a man's face, but wisdom comes from a place other than time alone. Wisdom most often comes from accepting God's word as truth and living your life according to it. Proverbs 1:7 affirms, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge." Too often you think you become wise by living through difficulties and learning a lesson afterwards. That's a good source of common sense and part of the reason older folks have so much good advice to share. But true wisdom from God offers uncommon sense, inspired instructions from the Creator himself on how best to live and honor him in his world. Maybe those you say are wise beyond their years have simply been spending time learning wisdom from its true source. Don't let age fool you. Wisdom is available to all, and godly wisdom surpasses the earthly wisdom of anyone you know. Dear Lord, I ask you for wisdom to deal with life's many problems. You said all I had to do was ask, so I'm asking. Help me to recognize your wisdom when it comes. These are just great, and it's even better when I get to read it out loud and share it with others. It doesn't matter your age. You can be a wise person at a young age. And even in the Bible, it tells us that the wise man, kind of keeps his mouth shut. He says few words. And the fool just always is talking. And many of us have been there before. We may know a lot of people that are there now, but many of us have been there before. Now, there are some people, they keep to themselves. They are wiser in the way that they may be more cautious to say the wrong things, to mind their tongue, to respect others, and just keep things to themselves that are not necessarily worth saying. And that goes back to the saying, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. I've said some pretty bad, some pretty terrible things to people before, and to myself, and to just the world in general. I've said some pretty terrible things to the Father. And, I've had my times. Things like this, just a 3-minute devotional, just reading a quick devotional in the morning when I get the chance, because I don't always read it in the morning. When I get the chance to read it, things like that kind of bring me back to reality and say, this is a situation. Just because you think you're smarter, just because you think you know more than others, you really don't know anything. I don't know anything. And the more I say that out loud, the more I can say it, and I can respect that. Fearing the Father, fearing Jesus is the beginning of knowledge. When we humble ourselves and realize that we aren't the ones running the show here, we may be living a life, we may be serving a purpose, we may have our own path, our own spiritual path, spiritual journey, and spiritual purpose on the earth here. And a lot of us may not even know what it is or will ever be able to find it because of the corrupt nature of the world we live in nowadays. Because we're being led astray by so much that is going on, it's hard to find that purpose. So it says that the only way that you start to get knowledge is to finally realize that you know nothing, that you are really nothing without the Creator, because you were created by the Father. And since you were created by the Father, that without him, we are nothing. And some people would say, oh, that's so dramatic, oh, this and that. I mean, you can think what you want, okay? You can think what you want about yourself. You can believe that you are the most powerful being in this earth and have this mode of living. But The reality is, you were created. We were created by God. Being one of the Father's most treasured creations should make you feel amazing. It should make you feel divine. It should make you want to help others see that this is what we are supposed to know about ourselves. We have lost a lot of inner touch with ourselves, because we're so outwardly living, outwardly living our lives where everything that's happening outside of us immediately needs to be taken care of first. But remember that the Father tells us that our bodies are temples. And what do you do in places that you keep sacred to you? What do you do in your house when you want to feel good or feel clean? You make sure your house is in order. You make sure things are put away, things are clean and trustworthy, that you can put your food down somewhere on the counter and it's just a nice clean spot. You can just set it anywhere. So that's what's happening. And it's so hard. And I'll be the first one to admit, I do know meditation work. I do know inner self work in that manner. I do pray. I pray to God, and I always ask, to please have mercy on me. Like, help me see things I can't see, because I know I am my lack of power is honestly, it's very humbling for me to understand that I have actually no jurisdiction over what happens outside of my immediate actions, right? And through living these God actions, through living these fatherly actions, that doing the right thing instead of picking the wrong thing, I can start to change what is going on around me. And not that everything is going to change, not that the world is going to change because of this, but it can spark some kind of chain reaction in others. It can maybe help another person. And that's just what it is. Spreading the word, bearing fruit for others, allowing them to see that they can be given the freedom, the happiness, the purpose of life through the light of Jesus Christ and through the Father. We can find that light, that true peace that we seek in life. And life is scary. And if you say otherwise, if you say that life isn't scary and that you don't ever think about what happens after you move on from this physical realm, I would call you a liar, because everyone thinks about what is next. Okay? And especially in terms of the afterlife. So I just straight up, I don't believe people when they say they think nothing happens, because deep down inside, they know something happens. And the way they cope with wanting to believe that their lives are the most powerful thing and that they've somehow manifested their own spirit into this physical plane and overtook a fleshly body and started walking through the earth and grew up and all this other stuff. If that's what helps them continue to think in that process, is to just shut it down and say that nothing happens after we die and that we are just evolved from apes and we came from a big bang and all this other craziness, okay? If people say that, they are just not able to come to terms with that they are more important than they think they are. And this isn't like oh my gosh, you're a human being, you're the most important thing, like the world revolves around you. That's not what we're saying. That's not what people who are Christians, who are saying stuff about you being a divine creature, that is not what we're saying. What we say is that we are all important. Even God's creation, the animals, the plants, everything that was made by God is a divine creation. And it all serves a purpose. And we all have more to contribute than just passing on through the world and making money and trying to live life, and you only have one life to live and all this other stuff, which you may only have one life to live. in the physical realm, but you would be foolish to think that you have nothing to answer for after having been created by the Father and Him giving you such a precious gift, only to be squandered away or to be thought that you are somehow so powerful that you created your own spirit and put it into a carnal flesh body, and that you're able to walk this earth without knowing, without thinking that you possibly could be a part of anything greater. So, and let's be clear here. I'm not bashing on anyone who may think that. If that's what you think, you're probably going to think that regardless of what I say. That honestly is very sad, because like you may think that you live, because in the end it's not going to go well. Like it's not going to go well because you're not preparing yourself for what is to come after you leave here. And if you're not prepared, or if you're not at least trying to figure out or working on your spirit, whenever this world ends, you know, we're all going to find ourselves in very different positions. And those that didn't believe in an afterlife are going to be caught off guard. And I don't know if it's going to be in a good way. See, the thing is, I can never tell you what's going to happen to anybody. All I can say is with 100% certainty, there's definitely more beyond this physical world, and that we have souls that go on past our physical bodies. So I don't know what happens. I don't even know how this all goes down. I do believe in the word of the Father, and I do believe in Jesus, and I believe what it tells us about the salvation that can be sought by Jesus. So by me believing that, I believe that certain people are not going to be in a good place when the time comes for them to arrive at that doorstep and then move beyond. And my hope is that it changes for them, that they change their mind, that they find a purpose, that they find the true meaning of and how they really arrived here, and how it is they should be giving gratitude for what they have for their life. But yeah, that was just a quick book that I wanted to read with you. And like I said, just the 3-minute devotions for men. I think you can find it on Amazon. 180 encouraging readings. Might do something for you. I enjoy reading them. And it might give you a little bit of a nice way to start your day. So with that, I'm going to head out, and I'll be back soon with another video. If you like what you watch, please give this video a like, maybe subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I'm going to get going. Enjoy the rest of your day. As always, go in peace. This is Jay out.